Hey, I'm Tsea, and this is a song that I made called Their Last Stand, which I released about a month ago. Now, this is very significant for me, as it is one of the first times that I've ever fully completed a song, and the very first time that I've ever released one. And so today, I want to show you how I made the song, using nothing more than a website on my phone, and how I managed to get it released onto the largest music streaming site in the world. This is how I made Their Last Stand. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I've broken this video down into two sections. The first one covering how I made the song, and the second covering how I published it. And I put timestamps in the description for each section. So let's get cracking. I mentioned in the intro that I made this song entirely on a website on my phone, and that's no exaggeration. This is beatbox.co, the software I've used to make tens of songs over the last 2 years. It's really intuitive to use and goes surprisingly deep when you get into it, with effects, envelopes, and tons of presets. Anyway, enough of the software, here's the song. As you can see, it's quite large, so let's break it down. In total, there are 6 sections: the intro, the hero theme, the villain theme, the confrontation, the climax, and the outro. In the intro, the song starts as most of my songs do, with a simple 4-bar melody that goes down at each bar. I then expanded that melody another 4 bars, and added a simple drum hit at the beginning of each bar to give it some oomph. I then added in some different instruments playing the same note to give the music some atmosphere. And then for a while I was happy with what I had. But after that while was over, I felt like there was something that was missing. Something big and hard hitting. Something orchestral. One of my favourite things to do in music is to try and mix 8-bit computer-generated sounds with orchestral instruments. I'm talking trumpets, slidey trumpets, big trumpets, drunk trumpets, all the different types of trumpets involved in an orchestra. And so after adding in the orchestral hit, as it's called in beatbox, the song now sounded like this. Now I felt like I had a solid base to expand on, which brings us to the next sections, the hero and the villain theme. Starting with the villain theme, as that's what I made first. I started off with the villain theme by thinking to myself, what does villain music sound like to me? And I came up with a few things. To me, it's usually a cooler and more badass sounding song, and it usually features some rock element such as an electric guitar or a bass. So that's what I started with. I added an electric guitar melody, and then layered on a bass playing some octave chords. And after running any other instruments, I'm really happy with how it sounds, and I'm even happier with how it sounds later on in the piece. But before we get on to that, there's another theme we need to discuss in the piece. The hero theme. For Their Last Stand, the villain theme is very hardcore and crunchy, and so for the hero theme, I needed it to be the complete opposite. It needed to be uplifting, inspiring, and have no crunchy elements in it. It needed to show how the hero is standing up against unbelievable odds and coming out on top. And so I started out with a choir playing some high chords followed by a short melody. I then expanded it out with some more chords. And then I transitioned it into the villain theme with the reverse symbol. That sounded amazing. Time to expand it. The next thing I worked on was the confrontation, the part of the song where the hero and the villain meet and exchange dialogue before the battle. I did this by playing the first 2 bars of the hero and the villain theme to show the dialogue. I also had the bass part of the villain theme playing over both melodies to emphasise the power of the villain. He's so powerful that he's creeping into the hero's melody. Anyway, the confrontation transitions into the climax of the piece. It begins with an extended version of the villain's theme, but without the top melody. The hero's instrument also imitates the final few notes of the villain's melody for the first few bars until separating and playing block chords. This is the wind-up for the climax. The hero has fallen. The villain seems victorious. But out of all odds, the hero rises up, brandishes their sword, and prepares to attack. Drums are expanded. The hero's instrument plays block chords, and the guitar goes crazy. All living up to, the villain has been defeated. And all that is left is the melody from the beginning, with the hero's instrument playing block chords. Now, if we look into the climax, there are a few things that really make it the moment of the song. I increased the drums, which had been fairly quiet and slow up to this point of the song. I modified the villain's theme to make the guitar play faster notes further into the climax, giving the piece more energy. And at the end of the climax, the villain's guitar plays some sliding notes which slide upwards. This gives the impression that the villain has fumbled and has been slain. The outro leads on from this, going back to the simple melody from the beginning of the piece, with the hero's instrument playing some block chords. The outro is meant to represent the aftermath of the battle and slows down in order for the hero to reflect. And that's how I made the song. Now, let's get on to how I published it. Once I completed the song, I knew right there and then that I wanted to release Their Last Stand and get it onto Spotify somehow. The only issue was, I had no idea how to do that. So into Google I dove. Searching up how to get my song to Spotify led me to a website that told me in order to get my song to the largest music streaming site in the world, I would need to go through a publisher. Great, there was only one issue. I had no idea what a publisher was. So into Google I dove again, and after consulting my, friend, he told me that a music publisher manages, promotes and protects the rights of songwriters and composers, ensuring that they are properly compensated when their music gets used commercially. They acquire right to songs, handle licensing for various uses like recordings, films, performances, and collect royalties on behalf of the creators. Additionally, publishers promote the songs to potential users and protect the intellectual property rights of the music creators. Great, now that I knew what a publisher was, the next step was to choose which one to use. And after a long Google search, I decided to go with DistroKid, as a lot of sites told me it was the best one for me. Now that I had my song and a means to publish it, the next step was to actually upload the song. And so I did was, master your track? I wonder what this does.
1 hour later.
Okay, so I basically spent an hour of my life just tweaking these two sliders to change how the song sounds. And I think I improved it ever so slightly, but that was an hour of my life I'm never going to get back. So, after mastering the song, I moved on to the actual uploading part, which presented me with another issue, the cover art. Which is great, because I have no idea how to make cover art, but I do know how to use Aseprite.
1 hour later.
Okay, so now we have our cover art done, song done, and publisher chosen. So this has to now be the part where I'm able to upload my song, right? Wrong. First I needed to select which genre my song was, select which sites I wanted to release my song on, make different sizes of the cover art, fill out my artist information, pay a subscription to DistroKid allowing me to use the site, and a bunch of other boring stuff. But after all that was done, the song was uploaded. And all I had to do now was wait for a few days for it to be uploaded to all of the music streaming sites, which meant that I was done. I had successfully made and released my first song, and you can listen to it right now over on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube Music, and tons of other places. I really hope you enjoyed the song, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a blast to make both of them. If you want to get some sneak peeks into my music, games, and videos, then I highly recommend that you join the Discord server, link in the description. It's also where I hang out, and so I would love to see you over there. We also recently hit 200 subscribers on the channel, which is absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you all enough. Anyway, thank you for watching, subscribe if you enjoyed, have a great day, bye!